I'm back to talk about my favorite Disney shill, Jacob Suggs. A lot of people are new to the channel, and it's been a while since I talked about this guy, so you might not actually know who he is. But basically, he's a Star Wars YouTuber and Disney shill, and his channel growth has been well documented over the past few months. And to me and many others, it looks like he's buying subs and engagement. The likes, comments, and views on his channel are most likely botted. And this isn't even the worst thing about him. He's developed quite a big ego. He thinks he's a big shot. He thinks he's a serious content creator. It seems like the people he associates with online believe his channel growth to be genuine, or they just don't give a fuck that he buys subs. He started this podcast with some other Disney shills, and I did make a post about how he's into this co-host of his, this random chick, and he got very upset. He threatened to sue me, and all that really did was confirm my suspicions. I think he really does have a thing for her, and that's why he got so upset. He also loves to go after OG Star Wars on Twitter. I have no idea why he targets her so much. Maybe it's because he doesn't like when women disagree with him. I really have no idea why he does it, and why she triggers him so much. But anyway, he is quite possibly the biggest fan of the sequels you'll ever see online, and he absolutely is the biggest fan of The Rise of Skywalker. It is his favorite Star Wars film. And I am going to read for you the 18 reviews he has left on Letterboxd for this film. So let's get into it. On the 19th of December 2019. I quite like that a lot actually, not without its flaws, but I'm very satisfied. I thought this was awesome, and I can't wait to see it again. Not only did he give it 4 stars, but he also saw it again the next day. On the 20th of December, he gave it 4.5 stars this time. Just watched this again tonight and loved it even more than last night. Most of my issues weren't issues this time around, and I had a blast from start to finish. Honestly, brought me to tears and somehow managed to make me even more emotional than last night when I watched it on opening night. I saw it with a best friend of mine that absolutely loathes The Last Jedi, and even he loved it as well, and we had a really great conversation afterwards that I'll never forget about. It's reasons like this that I love Star Wars, and I'll miss seeing these saga films. But I'm glad that we ended on a very good, no wait, I'm sorry, great note. I love this film. I love it, and I'm proud to admit it. Also, not to be dramatic, but I would let Babu Frick suck my toes. Alright mate, fucking calm down. On the 31st of December 2019. Spontaneously saw this for a third time tonight with one of my best friends, and it just keeps getting better and better. I cried several times, and honestly, the entire sequel trilogy is just top tier Star Wars. I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna get shit for it, but I'm gonna say it. This was a near perfect conclusion for the entirety of Star Wars. I still have some minor issues, but I genuinely love this film. And then on the 2nd of January 2020, this was literally 2 days after his last review. He saw it again for the 4th time. He did drop it down to 4 stars from 4.5. But anyway, I just saw The Rise of Skywalker for a 4th time with my parents. It was my favorite time I've ever watched a Star Wars movie in the theater. When it ended, my mum and I were in tears, and I leaned over, hugged her and said, "Thank you for getting me into Star Wars," as the credits rolled. Nothing will ever change that moment for me. That moment alone might single-handedly be my favorite moment I've ever had in a movie theater. And he actually has this review pinned on his Letterboxd profile. He even put it in one of his videos that I do plan on covering in the future. 19th of September 2020, Jacob is depressed and needed Star Wars to achieve some form of happiness. Spontaneous rewatch. The good news is that I am no longer extremely sad, and part of the reason why is because this rewatch really helped. And for what it's worth, although I can totally see why this is divisive, I love it. It means so much to me personally and is everything I wanted it to be and more. For me, it gets better and better on every rewatch, and I can't think of a better way to end this incredible 40+ year saga. And then a week later on the 26th of September 2020, oops, I watched this again today while building a Lego Millennium Falcon because I, as you all know, am a massive simp for Star Wars. You're also a simp for that co-host of yours. 18th of December 2020. This was everything that I wanted it to be and more, still even after a year. Less than a month after that, on the 10th of January, Star Wars Marathon Night 11. They make you win by making you think you're alone. That doesn't make sense. He's trying to quote the film, but he got it wrong. The line is actually they win by making you think you're alone. But whatever. A perfect ending for me. Honestly, the fact that this particular film didn't 100% work for everyone makes it just even more special for me personally. I get why it didn't work for others, but I'm really thankful and glad that it worked for me. Star Wars in general just means so much to me, and honestly, they're all my comfort films. But last year especially was really hard for me for a lot of personal reasons, and I found myself rewatching The Rise of Skywalker a lot more than usual. Sometimes spontaneously, and other times to just get my mind off of things that were bothering me. And every time, it gave me the same sense of joy, inspiration, wonder, excitement, and adventure that the series as a whole has given me for so many years now. It's a film that means a lot to me. And although it's not as great as The Last Jedi by any stretch of imagination, The Rise of Skywalker is as much of a rousing adventure and incredible tribute to Star Wars as a whole, as much as it is a conclusion to the 9-installment series in general. I honestly don't think I've ever heard anyone praise this film as much as this guy has. It's kind of impressive. 24th of February 2022. First Star Wars marathon I finished on my own. Poor guy. I guess he didn't have any friends to watch the film with. But if you notice, this review and the last one, he started to give it 5 stars. The 4th of November, 2022. Been having Star Wars fever for a while now. And after a bad day and crazy week, I figured it was time to just sit back, relax, and watch The Rise of Skywalker again tonight. This series, as many of you already know, means a tremendous amount to me, and is one of the constant things in my life ever since I was a kid. And although the response to this particular installment has always been incredibly polarizing, it just works perfectly for me each and every time. Everything that I want to say about it, every defense I have for it, everything I love, I've already said it countless times already. I just admire it and appreciate it so much, and this was exactly what I needed tonight. Honestly, I've never heard anyone speak about this film like this. 19th of January 2023. Needed one of my comfort films this afternoon, and it's my first watch of a sequel trilogy film in 2023. I feel like I've said a lot about how much I love this film, and said virtually everything that I could say in regards to how much it means to me. I deeply admire it as a film on its own, just as much as a conclusion to a saga that I've loved ever since I was a child. Star Wars has always been there for me, and it always will be. There's also something so special about the fact that the final message / theme of the final Star Wars film are "Be with me" and "You're not alone." So perfectly poetic, and a perfect ending for me. Honestly, the fact that this particular film didn't 100% work for everyone makes it just even more special for me personally. He already fucking said that. He said that exact thing in a different review. Yeah, so I just double checked, and the review from the 10th of January 2021 is basically this review. He's just reused it and changed up the position of some of the paragraphs. What a fraud. Since he's just repeating himself again here, he's kind of already doing that, but it's so egregious that I think instead of saying he did 18 reviews, we can just say he did 17. 27th of February 2023. Goated ending. Don't know how people don't really like / love this. Well, fuck you. To elaborate, The Rise of Skywalker is a film that acts as not just the ending of a trilogy, but 3 trilogies, and does so beautifully. There's something very special about how the final Star Wars film's central message is, even if you think that you're alone, you're not. And expanded on with the simple phrase, "Be with me," harkening back to a very similar phrase that we've heard time and time again throughout this saga. A film that says good people will always rise up to fight and stand up against injustice and hate that can arise time and time again in different forms, and at its most ugly, that there are more of us. And this is for real. That scene at the end of the film, when all those ships show up to Exegol to fight, he loves that shit. The 4th of May, so you know it's May the 4th be with you, this fake fucking Disney Star Wars holiday. It's bullshit, by the way. Honestly, by this point, it's tied with The Last Jedi as my favorite Star Wars film. The best thing about this franchise, which is also its greatest weakness, is that your least favorite film in the series is someone else's favorite. It's a story that is generational, carrying on from one to the next, and each applying aspects of the old combined with the new. Lots more to add later. Have a really bad headache at the moment. All you really need to know is that this specific film means so much to me personally. Fucking hell, dude, how many times is he gonna say that? And it will always have a special place in my heart. The sequel trilogy remains supreme. It's so weird that he mentioned having a headache. I guess that's why he couldn't write a longer review, maybe, I don't know. But I swear to Christ, he used having a headache as an excuse to end a stream early on his channel back when he used to stream because barely anyone showed up.
I'm probably not gonna stream too much longer. in all honesty, I'm kind of getting a little bit of a headache, and I think it's because I haven't eaten today. So with it being almost 6 o'clock p.m. my time, I just wish more people would tune in. That's my thing. I know that part of it though today is just I did it kind of spontaneously, so it's just all up in the air, I guess, right now. I might do a Twitter space tonight, kind of the same thing. We'll see how I'm feeling. It's been kind of a rough day, like I said, but this has proven to be pretty fun. So we'll see.
I think it was like his 10K subscriber stream and like 8 people were there. So his reviews aren't very original and neither are his excuses. 30th of June, 2023. I wanted Indiana Jones to hype me up before the bachelor party weekend, but unfortunately, since it was ass, I had to rely on a movie that actually means a lot to me personally and emotionally once again. Fucking hell, dude. It means a lot to you personally, we get it. You say that because you don't want to be criticized for liking the movie. 7th of July, 2023. Watched with my friends last night to start off my birthday weekend. Well, you know what? It's his birthday. I suppose they had to watch it with him. 7th of September, 2023. You all know I like this movie. I have nothing more to say, to be honest. Why'd you make this review then? 2nd of December, 2023. Last film I watched before getting married. Jesus Christ. And if you want to know the story about how Jacob met his fake wife, his AI wife, I actually made a video about it, so check it out if you want to. I'll leave it linked below. I'll give you a bit of a spoiler. They got married after like a year of dating. And the last review I got here is from the 21st of February 2024. Can't believe it's almost been 10 years since Philip and I started marathoning every Star Wars movie starting in late November. Who the fuck is Philip? One of the best things about Star Wars as a whole is that someone else's least favorite thing is someone else's favorite. He's just repeating himself again. And that's certainly true for me, as I've pretty much narrowed it down where The Rise of Skywalker is my favorite Star Wars movie in the saga. I feel like the fact that it's so divisive just makes it more special for me. Is that what this is all about? He wants to feel special and unique, so he chooses the one film in the sequel trilogy that basically no one cares about as his favorite. And these aren't even the only reviews for the sequels. He does it for every film every time he watches them, or at least most of the time. He's definitely watched it more than 18 times, more than the amount of times he's reviewed them. He probably watches this shit every fucking day. And luckily we can actually see his Star Wars ranking on his Letterboxd account. The Rise of Skywalker is number 1, followed closely by The Last Jedi. And he's ranked Return of the Jedi 8th, below the sequels and Solo. What a fucking dickhead. Fuck you. But if you notice, Clone Wars is at the bottom. Based on some of the things he's said in his other reviews for other projects, I don't think he's that much of a fan of Filoni's Star Wars. And it's interesting that Rogue One is at 9th, when Andor is absolutely his favorite Star Wars show. But the video is not over yet, guys, because not only do we have his ranking, we also have his fucking wife's. Here it is, and it's honestly more respectable than the majority of rankings you'd see from Disney shills. Top 3 being Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back. I honestly think this list is a good representation of what the average moviegoer thinks of Star Wars. You see the top 4 films there, Revenge of the Sith, and then the original trilogy. I think that's the typical top 4 for the general audience, followed by some Disney shit, and then the prequels, episode 1 and 2. I think those movies are way too underrated, seriously underrated films in my opinion. And something else that doesn't really surprise me, Rogue One is dead last because normal people think that movie is boring as fuck. So there you have it, guys. There are all his reviews, there's his rankings, there's his fake wife's rankings. Despite watching the movie so many times, I honestly don't think he has much to say about it. 5 months ago, I watched the movie for the first time. I made a video about it. It's almost 30 minutes long, longer than any video he's made about the film. I'll leave that linked below as well. He did repeat himself a few times in these reviews, but I do think his feelings for these films are genuine. He loves the sequels. It's kind of weird. I've never seen anyone love these movies as much as he does. I think when he makes videos, he should just stop trying so hard because he doesn't come off as genuine at all. Which is why it might be hard for some of you to believe he actually loves these movies, but I really do think he does. Just like I think he buys subs and likes and views and comments. Just had to say that before I ended the video. But thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.